And I think a lot of you are very curious about the building, about the school, and I'm pleased that we have the opportunity to have a tour around the school after the workshop. So first, we have to work a little bit, and then the nice things will go on the tour and lunch. So let me introduce you to the agenda I prepared for today. So first of all, I would like to ask, why does teacher ethos matter? So teaching and ethos, also on the posters, why we should talk about it. And then I would like to go into more details about values in the profession of teacher education, in the teaching profession. Let's relate what Professor Buschmann said before. Values are kind of beliefs. They influence our behavior, and to be aware of it, start to reflect on my own values are the first steps to transform my own behavior in the teaching profession. And there's a group activity and a tea break, and after the break I will go on with another topic. It's how to deal with moral dilemmas. Because I think every day as a teacher you can recognize in classes moral dilemmas or in the whole work with colleagues or parents. So the question is how to deal with it. And there's one approach, the realistic approach, I want to show you and share with you. The outlook on teacher ethos. But before I start, you already know what I'm doing, so it's not necessary to repeat everything. I will go on and show you a small picture so that you can actually know where I am from. I'm from Tübingen. It is in the south of Germany over here. And then there's Hungary. It was a long journey, but I'm really happy to be here right now and that you can see where I'm from. So this is just one picture of Tübingen. It is an old city, our university is very, very old. It was founded in 1476, so more than 500 years of history in Tübingen. And there were a lot of teachers and teacher educators who come from Tübingen, so it is historically very meaningful university city, and with a nice river. So now let me show you two pictures to frame a little bit the question why it is important to think about teacher ethos. This is a picture from a school, from a German school, but it's originated in Delhi. And I lived half a year in Delhi and worked at the school. And what you can see here is the teacher playing guitar or an instrument in general. And this is the 6th grade. They perform a song. I also lived a couple of months in Africa, Uganda, and also had the opportunity to go to some schools. So the next picture is from a school from Uganda, where I worked for a couple of weeks. So this is also a 6th grade. And this is a classroom, and there are approximately 150 students in one class. Why I'm showing you the picture and would like to compare those pictures is that there is a kind of school building around, there's an environment, but it is the teacher and the students that matters in this situation. So the question arises, teaching in ethos, why does teacher ethos matters? So as I emphasized, the teacher and the student are the important two persons in the teaching process. It's like, not that I come up with it suddenly, like during the night, oh, it is important. I think you all would acknowledge that it's important, students and teachers. And we know from research, from evidence-based research, who influences the achievement of students. 50% the student, his or herself, is responsible for the achievement. But then, and this is important, and I think it's very good to know, 30% of the influence of the student's achievement, the teacher is responsible. And then, the home, the parents, the peers, the schools, like the environment, and also the principal, has influence on the student achievements. But the teacher is the important one amongst all other factors. And this is super good to know, super important to know, and that's why it's so important that you try to be a good teacher, or a competent teacher, or a professional teacher. Which features influence the achievement of students? And John Hattie, who did the study, he analyzes 800 meta-studies, in total 60,000 single studies. So based on more than 60,000 studies all over the world, he found out that under several more features, that not labeling students and the student-teacher relationship are one of the important factors that influence students' achievement. So quality of teaching, sure. Yeah. But the question is, how do we deal with it? Yeah. There's no, in the teacher education, there's no course, there is no competence like teacher-student relationship, like you can use knowledge and that's it. Yeah, it comes also with a kind of attitude, yeah, for teacher-student relationship and not labeling the students. This is the first part, the evidence-based part. Yeah? So we know from research, we know from our evidence that student-teacher relationship is very important. Not labeling students are very important. So a kind of teacher ethos is important. Then we have a second framework, a second perspective. Education goals, and I think you all are aware about educational goals. They are anchored in the Constitution, in school laws, like in the Andhra Pradesh Education Act. I looked it up, and there's some goals like development of linguistic skills or other competences, so the daily work in schools, but also teaching of morals. And I had the opportunity to look up the educational philosophy of this school. So they also mentioned that the teachers here have to empower students to emerge as a social being. And to be a social being is more than learning math or English or art. Yeah? It's whole more than that. So in the educational goals, we see that we need to do something more than just to teach a subject. And it comes with, I would like to frame it like educational freedom. And it's, in my point of view, very, very important when it comes to teacher ethos. Because normally, between 10 and 40 students are in front of you. And now, you are on your own. And you are responsible to teach math, to teach language, to teach anything else. But you are also responsible for the well-being of the students. And nobody controls you. So sometimes the principal comes in. Yes, here we have some windows that you can look through. But normally nobody controls the teacher. Just in the end of the year, there are some marks of the students. So why has a student a bad mark? Maybe this is a kind of controlling. But how you behave in the classroom, there is no controlling. So therefore, yeah, this pedagogical freedom in your classroom comes with pedagogical responsibility. And this is a small, I tried to to draw it. It's like you have different frames. First of all, we have the macro level, the society, the democratic society. The society trusts you as a teacher that you shape the students, the learners, to become the new members of this future society. So they have some thoughts how to do it. Then we have the meso level. It's a school, it's the environment of each school. And then we have the subject, we have the learners, and we have you, the profession, and then frame the classroom. And then there can happen a lot of things in the classroom. So it is a kind of education freedom. And the question is how to fill this education freedom in the classroom. And here's a teacher now. So and I asked myself and looked up on the internet, what does a teacher need to fill the education freedom, to be a good teacher in the classroom? And sure, you need a lot of knowledge. You need a lot of knowledge about math, about the language that you teach. But it is also important that a teacher is sensitive to these details and can perceive the student's needs. It's also important. Or helping hand to reach out to students who are in need. So not only to be aware of needs, also to react. And that is now the point where teacher ethos comes into life. And here's a short definition based on the evidence. Student-teacher relationship is important, for example, based on the pedagogical goals, and based on the educational freedom and pedagogical responsibility that you have as a teacher. So, pedagogical ethos refers to an active commitment of a teacher to the pedagogical environment that supports a positive development of students. This is the first part of the definition. What teacher ethos is. And the second part, to fill it with a little more light. This means that a teacher ethos is displayed when he or she acts on behalf of the pedagogical goals in different teaching situations concerning students' abilities and the whole teaching environment. This is a lot. Try to remember one of your classes, for example. And you have a lot of different students with a lot of different abilities. And you have educational goals and you want to achieve some goals in the classroom. And now you have to take care of all the students' abilities and create an environment, a learning environment that positively influences their development. So it is a lot of responsibility as a teacher, and you should be aware of it. That's the first step in my point of view. It's important regarding teacher ethos. Now, there are different perspectives on
giving week. We should collect some old clothes, old bicycles, old sports items, old instruments, so many books, bags, everything are very useful for some kind of other area children. It's useful and the very, very essential value to inculcate students, I think. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing this important value, and we'll go around to the next table, maybe. Yeah.
Good morning, one and all. This is Palabanu. Our teammates and all the colleagues, we have decided, we have one more important point, which is the basic for the next generation to build up. The important word is social behavior. Because in this technological and globalized world, that 5-inch gadget is giving more importance than a living being in the society. And after a certain point, the child goes into this super world where a teacher, however he or she behaves in the class, in the school, in the institutions, etc., that will make him or her to expose more, like she will have to act as an idol to the whole society. So, giving less importance, encouraging the students to believe in the teachers and then the technology, etc., that would leave much more important, because we have been reading the newspapers how the child are, how the children have behaved, their behaviors, etc., etc. So for that, we will have to inculcate social moral values in the minds of the society, and that has to be definitely be given by the teachers itself. Of course, with that we also give like punctuality or discipline and motivators and dedication towards our work, doing it smartly. That will lead to a well generation to the next world. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. On the other side, so I can move and move. So I have to decide, but please.
Good morning all. We've come from Bellwether International, Tanaguru, and I would like to share just one, or there are many values, but truthfulness I feel is the most important value. As you said, as Dr. Martin said, that inside the class it's 40 or 50 students or 30, 20 students, number doesn't matter, and the teacher. What teacher is doing inside the class is very important. Because we all are not dealing with the machineries, we are dealing with the human beings. God has given us children, living lives. We have to mold them and motivate them. So it's very important to be truthful with the children, and we are the role models. Children have 2 eyes are watching children, but there are 40, 60 eyes watching us. So we have to be the role model. What we practice, we should not teach, but we should practice, and then children will adopt it themselves. Thank you.
Thank you for your sharing. Look at this table also.
Good morning. And our group have decided that the values which are really important is giving assurance to the students that I'm here. That the students may feel difficulty in many areas, but as a teacher we should give them a little assurance that dear, just giving a pat or giving a push, saying that you can, and we are here to you to help you in all the areas. And the other one we feel it is like passion towards our profession. The first thing, the bonding or any caring or giving assurance or being responsible, everything comes only because of the passion which we have. As from the story we have come to know, the person who has a passion of teaching, only that person can enjoy his job. The same thing we would like to say, like having passion towards our job and giving assurance to the students that we are here. This may help the students to perform better. These values have helped us more in our teaching. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing your important values on this table. The table in front of me.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Ishra Kiran, and at this table, what we think is an important value is having empathy. Because once there is empathy, once there is a thought of empathy in children, there is many other ideas that come with an empathy. Once a person is empathized with the other person, once the child or the teacher or anyone starts looking at life in different perspectives, it opens up many arenas. And I believe that children, more than listening to what we say, they learn from what we do. So as teachers, I think if we are empathizing to children, children will empathize other children and they learn that value, and if there is that value within children, it will greatly affect their learning curve.
Thank you very much. Yeah, also an important point. So we have 3 tables left. Yeah. Someone, if everything is written down, we can also say this one on the board is for us also important. Yeah? Just to strengthen one value maybe. Or everything.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sapina from Pratibha Educare. So today, as we are talking about all these things like which are valuable, so I just want to go with one more point, that is positive mindset. So in these days, actually, teachers are not having the acceptance that what we are saying, and children are not having the acceptance that what they are learning. So we have to inculcate this thing in their mind, that they have to take everything positively. Right? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Like to share?
I am Dr. Gopal Krishna from Nana University, Assistant Professor. Intellectual values. This is both from positive thinking and negative thinking. The teacher must be be optimist. The students also, the scientific awareness, the mathematical awareness, maximum awareness towards of they reach their greater heights. The intellectual thinking is the most important. So that's why intellectual values is the most criteria of the teacher profession. Thank you.
Thank you. Also a new perspective. So, would you like to share something?
Hello, everyone. And as for what we have discussed, we felt self-respect. Once that's taught to them, children, they start respecting everybody else, everything else as well. It's not just limited to what they're learning. So first it is self-esteem. Learn to respect yourself. Then obviously you learn to respect people, places, time, and things. So, it's kind of a blanket that envelops everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank all of you for sharing these important values, ideas, and as you can see, first of all, I would like to thank you, Mr. Mann, for collecting all the ideas. Thank you very much. And now we can go on. As you can see, there are a lot of different values and points regarding values, that you can maybe sum up to caring, but what I showed you was very abstract values, and he avoid the moral dilemma in any possible way that you can imagine. Then delegating a security-seeking behavior. It's like, yeah, sir, he is my student, John is my student, but I'm not the right person to call. Please call the principal, he can give you a better answer. So it's like delegating the problem. We often can see it, this type of behavior. Then there's a single-handed decision making. It's like you as a teacher, you make a decision on your own, and that's it. It's very common to make a decision, or you have to do it, and you have to make a decision on your own as a teacher. Because, small excursus, if you're in the classroom, you have a lot of critical situations, or kinds of small moral dilemmas. And you don't have the time always to interrupt the lesson and call for a round table, discuss with all the students, with all the participants, maybe call parents to come and find a solution and then go on. So the single-handed decision making is that you as a teacher make a decision. Point. Then we have the incomplete discourse. It is that all the participants of this moral dilemma come together, they discuss, they balancing the values, the different values, but in the end, you as a teacher make a decision, you as a person make a decision. Yeah? Everyone is heard out, but you make the decision. An example from Germany it's not a kind of, it is to prevent moral dilemmas. And it's a nice illustration for this incomplete discourse. The first day after holidays, or if young children attend to school, the teacher arrives, and in the first day, he invites the children to come up with class rules. Yeah? Let's make our own rules in the classroom. What are important rules for you as students in this classroom? But in the end, the teacher is guiding the students. Yeah, it seems to be all the students are participating in making the rules, but in the end, you can go around in every classroom they have the same rules. Because the teacher decided in the end and guided the participants. That's a kind of incomplete discourse. Yeah? And then it's the last form, it's a complete discourse. And coming back to the moral dilemma again, it is that all the participants coming together, they discuss, they balancing the different values, and they try to find the best solution. Even though in your point of view it is not the best solution, if all other participants agree on the solution that's best for more or less best for everyone, or to resolve the moral dilemma, then you have to take it. Yeah? So everyone has a voice and everyone vote for the best solution. This is a complete discourse. And you see that it's taking a lot of time and a lot of effort to achieve this kind of complete discourse for a moral dilemma. That's why I always emphasize that this discourse, this approach, is for really difficult moral dilemmas. Because in the end, if you achieve this complete discourse, all of the participants are happy. Because all of the participants participate in the process of problem solving. Everyone could give his or her opportunity. Everyone is a part of the solution. So this might be the best outcome, but it is not possible for all our moral dilemmas to use this approach. Okay? Just to be aware of it. But it helps. So this is the fifth type, the complete discourse. As I told you, it is in the handout. It's just for more detailed information. Yeah. So, but let me emphasize one. So the approach seeks a solution that serves the interest of all parties involved in the best way possible. Yeah. It is very important. What are the limitations? What are the limitations concerning to teacher ethos as well? It is just focusing on emergency or exceptional situations. Without that, nothing can be said about teacher ethos. So this approach is a technique. It is not an attitude. So it just comes to light when there is actually a problem. And you cannot create a problem or wait for a problem or a critical situation. The teacher uses this technique and then you say, okay, he has teacher ethos or she has teacher ethos. Yeah? It's a kind of technique, it's a part of teacher ethos. And it's tied to an actual problem. Values are guiding us every second. give us an orientation every moment. This discourse is just focusing on a dilemma situation, but it's also important. And what we can see, and this is very interesting from research, and that's why I'm showing you this approach. So we asked students, and the students' ratings of aspects like interpersonal respect, commitment to school, to the teacher, teaching skills, and justice, truthfulness, and general well-being are higher for discourse-oriented teachers than for teachers who are not discourse-oriented. So I think here empirical evidence shows that sometimes in really tricky moral dilemma situation, a discourse-orientated process is very helpful. This is the key message. A discourse-oriented process to resolve a really strict moral dilemma can help us in the teaching profession, in our teaching professional ethics. As I promised before, now it's time to go back into the groups and start discussing again. Hopefully in a discursive way as well. And what I would like you to do is to pick up one moral dilemma, or maybe two, that you have discussed before, and try to resolve this dilemma theoretically with this realistic discourse approach. How do you resolve this moral dilemma with the avoiding behavior, with the single decision making, with the delegating type, and also with the incomplete and with the complete discourse? And discuss and share ideas how to create a situation that all the participants come together. And you can also share what is so difficult to resolve this moral dilemma. And maybe you can help each other that you resolve this moral dilemma with a complete discourse. That's what you're going to do, or you're invited to do now.
He was targeting some children, and he was writing, this person is a pig, this person is something. So when we finally found him out, we realized that he is not the perpetrator of the thing, but he is actually a victim. He started to write those names because they were bullying him. And he started to write the names of the management as well because we were not caring all the time. So we realized that the problem with him was he was suppressed, and out of that suppression he came out and he started displaying his anger on the walls. So our dilemma is, should we tell them the truth or should we hide that? Because if we hide it, we are doing injustice to all the other children whose names were written there. And if we tell it, we are doing injustice to the person, because he will be found out and then he will be singled out around the school. So we did, Sir gave us 5 steps. For the first 2 weeks, we did the first step. We avoided everything. Number 2, we started taking it to I was the one who was in charge of it. So I decided I was incompetent, and then I took it to my senior staff. And then we had a discussion. And finally what we did was, we didn't go to the 5th point, we stopped at the 4th point. We listened to everyone, and then we decided, we listened to everyone's points, and then we started convincing everyone that our point is correct, and we didn't tell his name out. We started counseling him, and slowly it faded out. So I believe maybe we should think about trying the 5th point, maybe really listening to people. And my question is, what to do if people who enter the discourse come with their own bias?
Thank you very much for sharing us the situation. And of course, there were some normals around different schools, maybe the same problem arises. It's not a seldom problem, and yes, it is also a kind of dilemma how to deal with a guy write something on the board, and it's actually not, he is the victim and not the perpetrator. It's very, very tricky. So for the complete discourse, what theory suggests is that all of them come together. So all the students, and then you start discussing it and try to balance the different values. Maybe it's coming with a risk that all of the participants of this conflict come together. But from my point of view, it helps to resolve this problem for a long time, maybe, because all are aware of this problem won't come again. This is the idealistic view of this conflict discourse, because all participants of this problem, of this dilemma, are aware of it, all have one voice to discuss it, to share the feelings, to share the values, and come to the best solution within this group. This is what the conflict discourse is about. The fifth time. But be honest, hard to achieve, and the process that you describe is very normal. Not only in your school. I also had the same problems in schools in Germany, and in other countries as well. And it always started with, okay, there is a small problem, and let's avoid the small problem. Now, sometimes it's okay when you wait 1 week or 2 weeks, maybe it's gone. That's the hope. Yeah, but if it's increasing, then you have to take care of it, especially if you're responsible. Yeah, but this is very important as well. You have to see that you are responsible. You have to be aware of it. Okay, I'm responsible now, and now I will take an action. And now I will call for a round table and call all participants together. Actually, it helps. If it is one point, and this is not mentioned in the conflict discourse, and what is helping as well, is that you have someone from external advisor, so who is moderating the round table. This is helping as well, especially with different students and the teacher. Every time there's a form of hierarchy, and the students are maybe afraid of the teacher or afraid to tell the truth. But if there's an advisor from outside who's not involving in the whole moral dilemma, is just moderating it helps as well. Okay, thank you for sharing this moral dilemma, and again, who wants to share another dilemma from the experience of teaching profession? Yeah. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. So, I'm an English teacher. I have started my teacher career just past from 3 years ago. So, I'm a proud teacher. So, I would like to say there are many people here, very experienced people. I'm not so, what do you say, a big person, or I don't know the right word to say, but every teacher should have every teacher and a sir, whatever it is, teacher is a teacher. Every teacher should have a patience to understand the student. That's what I have come to. I would like to share one of my experience, the dilemma experience I was just discussing with my madam friends here. I was telling to them, I don't want to mention the name of the student, but he's a very good student right now, after motivation and everything. So what has happened is, he was a various as they have in the education system, the word duller they have removed to slow learner, and the slow learner word also they have removed to, what the word ma'am you have told? Coming to approaching, whatever it is, I like the word a lot. So he was a very slow learner, but I'm sorry to use that word again. He was a very naughty boy. Obviously, we have the hidden naughtiness in every human being. In the same way, he was naughty. He was very very slow in the education system. But still, a mother had a complaint that my student is not studying well. The teacher is not teaching well. He is having problem in understanding the things. I cannot blame the parent, I cannot blame the mother as she is uneducated. I cannot use a mother is the first teacher for the child. She can recognize that her own son or daughter, what it is. She knows better than the teachers. The parent who approached me, she was a uneducated parent, but still she could show me the diary. You know what was the mistake? He was writing maths homework in the English homework in the social homework in the science. But still the teacher was making a beautiful signature. With the date, I make sure ending time no signature and compulsory. Sorry, every time you have to make sure about the signature. I make sure with a beautiful sign. It was a very big blunder. The mother was an uneducated parent, but still. So here, the situation was we being educated, we didn't know.
This is Anuradha. Sir, what a few days back, what happened? I had received a call. One girl's mother called me. Ma'am, this time also my daughter left the lunch. Ma'am, I went there and I observed, but how she is. She is saying all the lunch she is giving to the snacks box. Remaining she is told like that. The next day I went to the class. I didn't ask anything, simply I observed all the students. Again I waiting for the lunch break. At that time, I am also taking the lunch, they are also taking. I am telling the other children too, one thing happened yesterday. You have to know what happened, who is the girl, like that I am asking. Ma'am, say what happened like that, every student is asking. Then that Suhita is in our friend. Yesterday she is cheated me. She showed all the boxes empty like, but she had taken the full lunch in her snacks box. Her mother recognized and she called like that. I said the story. Then that all the children shocked and why Suhita you are doing like this? And then I didn't say anything, but the children are saying too. You have cheated the teacher and you cheated the friends and you cheated them. Then what you will do? Like that we are discussing. Then the children are saying, ma'am, sorry ma'am, you did mistake. So what we will do like that? I asked her. Then they are saying, ma'am, today I understood. Every time you are showing the boxes like that only, na? What solution you have to say? Then they say, I don't like the curries, ma'am, but my mother is saying to keep you like that curries only. How can you eat all the food boxes like that? They say. So first we have to call my mother. Then I said to the children, those are the vegetables are very good for your health. Now, so the mother is knowing what is good, what is bad. So you have to eat. No man, how can you eat all the don't like curries, how can? Then it is one of the conflict or dilemma, I don't know that. But I am saying to, okay, what you will do? Then they are saying to reducing the food, ma'am, you tell my mother. Then I called to the parent and they said, no, no, it is good, you are a teacher, how can you are saying it is a reducing food like that? This is happens.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing. And this moral dilemma, this critical situation, in all the different stories you told, or experience you told us, something I hopefully come up. And I will go to this slide again to show it in detail. In all these dilemmas, in all your experience, it's always balancing the values you have. Like, for example, here, justice, caring, truthfulness, like in your example. You care about the students, not to call everyone, yeah? So maybe it was not 100% truthful to all the participants who participated at this dilemma, yeah? But caring was very important. And now I can go on. This is just theory. Now I can go on to this slide, this whiteboard. These are your values. And if you have a moral dilemma, all the values are guiding you in your behavior, and the solution, how you deal with this dilemma. That's why, in my point of view, it is very important that teacher ethos is not just one single perspective, a single approach. All combined with each other. So values are also important for dealing with moral dilemmas and coming to that into moral dilemmas and guiding us into moral dilemmas. And it's very important to be aware of your own values, but also be aware of the values of the other participants of this moral dilemma. The mother is, when she's balancing her values, yeah, has just a focus on caring. Yeah, maybe. So if the mother comes, and now the student comes, and then you, so because it's a dilemma with the three parties. So you have to, first of all, get to know the values. So that's important to reflect your own values, what is for you important, what's guiding you. And you also have to know, okay, what is important values from the parents, from the mother, and also from the student. And then you try to balance all the values to find a solution that suits for all of you. And this is very difficult. It takes time. But it is important. Because when we avoid all the dilemmas, if we're not aware of our values, then we cannot be professional teachers, and we do not take care of teacher ethos. And that's hopefully something that I can share with you, this idea about teacher ethos, that values, moral dilemmas, and also other approaches are important, and are different perspectives of teacher ethos. And teacher ethos is very important and a crucial point of the teaching profession. Not just the subject knowledge, not just the knowledge about rules, or how are the marks of each student. Also, teacher ethos, beware of your values, is important. To make before Professor Fuchsbach will make a small sum up, we discussed what's best for the workshop, and I think it's very nice if the person who gives such a fruitful, enlightening opening speech to this topic will close it. So that's a kind of framework, bracket, connecting brackets. Genau. Right. So let me point out some of my thoughts and my last ideas on this topic for today. As I mentioned in the beginning, remember the influence of student achievement. It comes from John Hattie. John Hattie is also a researcher, and John Hattie said the teacher matters. So the teacher is the important person in school and in the student relationship. And I absolutely agree, and I think you all absolutely agree, because you're all experts. You are the teachers. I would add a small point. Teacher ethos matters too. As a part of every teacher ethos matters too, and we have to be aware of our own ethos and of the ethos of the whole school. Values are guiding frameworks. Values give us kind of orientation, I hope. And the realistic discourse, how to deal with moral dilemmas, we discussed in the last 60 minutes. It is also important, but it's just a specific part of teacher ethos in critical situations, in moral dilemma situations. Then it comes to light that teacher ethos is very complex. And we cannot go out today and say, okay, 1 + 1 is 2, very logical math stuff, yeah? And then go on and go on. No, teacher ethos is very complex, and we have to continue the discussions. We have to continue the reflection of teacher ethos, of our values, and the other parts. This is very important, I think. So, reflecting on your own values is important to understand your own actions, because they lead us. But instructions for actions are also important. That's why I introduced the realistic discourse. That is also important. And let me end with the last point, and then I will hand over to you. Many aspects are important in the teaching profession. A lot of aspects are important. From evidence-based research, we know a lot of important things. You as a teacher, from your experience, you know that a lot of things are important, like subject knowledge, like classroom management, like the environment, good principles, supportive parents, and so on. Teacher ethos, that you start reflecting on parts of it, for example, values, that you integrate them, and then you can start transformation in your classroom, in your daily teaching process. And as well for principles, it is also interesting to think about institutional ethos. Ethos that you create with the whole school. So teachers, students, parents, a discoursive process, and you as a principal guide and make it up, but that you share the ethos with the whole school. I think this is also an important aspect to here as a principal, not as a teacher. So at the end, let me sum it up. Teacher ethos is very important from my point of view, because I do research on it. Now it is very important in the teaching profession, because it helps you to be a professional teacher. And it's a part of professionalization in the teaching profession. Thank you very much for attending. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask now, later, or I also gave you my contact information in the handout, or here you can write me anytime, any email, and then ask questions, right? Because sometimes I share my ideas with you together for your participation. Thank you very much.
So the time has come to wind it off. I take just a few minutes. What we discussed the whole morning, even the tea break and after the tea break, are certain things that we confront in our teaching line every time. When we confront, we also come across certain happenings taking place in our classroom context. So the point is, how would you like to be described is the question that we need to ask every time. As a teacher, how I should be described by my students, my institution? Is it okay for me to be described as a monster? Or ideally would like to be described like a mesmerizing person? So if I would like to be described as a mesmerizing, these things will not happen on its own. We need to put our efforts. So what is important is, the moment we understand our roles and responsibilities in the educational context, we need to redefine and to position ourselves in the institutions. If we cannot compete with machines, there are computers available. They are the knowledge treasures. And if the child wants to know something, maybe with a simple click he gets the whole world's knowledge. Probably you and me cannot compete and compensate. But what we have is being a teacher, being a human. We don't want to be described as a machines in the classrooms to do our mechanistic process of teaching and learning. But we want to be human beings in the classrooms. The person with values, the person with commitment, the person with caring. I think these things matters, also the learning outcomes. Most of the times what we do is, we make child to learn all the time by repeating things. And we strongly believe that it's only through that practice learning takes place. But Martin has presented a very detailed research perspective. If the child is engaged into the learning process, and the child is engaged in the learning process without fear, he can also excel in academics. Therefore, the teachers, what we need to be in the classrooms is we need to exercise transformative leadership qualities. Teachers are transformational leaders. But unfortunately what we do, we basically conduct transactions as teachers in the classrooms. If we want to be transformational leaders in the classrooms, what is required is our idealized influence. Idealized influence is important. We are not influencing through our power, through creating a kind of a fear. But the influence is through what we preach and what we practice and how effectively we are conducting ourselves in the classrooms as teachers. So the first thing to exercise transformational leadership is idealized influence. What are those ideas? What are those ethos that I strongly believe in? It's not simply that I believe in, but I also practice. I display when I talk to my colleagues, when I talk to my students, when I talk to my principal, and when I talk to my other school community. And the second one is to become a transformational leader. The second important component is you need to have the intellectual stimulation. Because schools are there to prepare the future generation. Somebody said very rightly, the destiny of any nation is being shaped in its classrooms. What a wonderful thing. The destiny of a nation is being shaped in its classrooms, and we know it doesn't happen automatically. It is you and me as teachers really need to create that environment in the classrooms and exercise our transformational leadership. And that's possible when we really give that kind of stimulation which is intellectually sound, a kind of thinking, reflection, and action. And another important thing which is very, very important for teachers to exercise transformational leadership is inspirational motivation. I was in some of the schools recently as a part of Ministry of Human Resource Development's project. And the government of India started a huge project in the country called Pandit Madan Mohan Malia Scheme for Teaching and Teachers. So when I was in the mission traveling to different schools, I simply asked one question to a group of students of grade 10 and 11. what you'd like to become once you finish all your studies in school. And the responses were, they want to become engineer, they want to become doctor, they want to become etc., etc. So out of curiosity, I asked how many of you would become teachers? Believe me, there was no single hand lifted up. So the question to me was, if you are not attracting good teachers to come to the profession, how can they be good teachers, good doctors? How the good engineers can come out? How the good lawyers can come out? So what is important is, when we have taken this profession as teaching, our inspirational motivation is a very, very important. So we need to be fully charged, and our display in front of a class can really give the motivation to the learners. So what we actually thought today is not something new that you doesn't know, but this is a kind of a reflection into our own practice. So just stop away, look back, and what has been happening in my professional life, and then think about to decide the future directions. And those directions will really help us to prove that we are teachers with ethos. So thank you very much for accepting the invitation, and thank you very much for active participation in all the discussions that you have. And please remember, coming together is a beginning. You all came, accepted the invitation of Mr. Ravi, and a wonderful platform is created here. So it is just a beginning, it's not the end. And keeping together is progress.